from any Western company, oil from any Arab country, they add a premium to the price and make profit. Which means if we had gone directly to buy directly from the source, we would have eliminated that premium, which is the commission, and that's very important. But importantly also, you realize that most of our cooperation is between is through third parties. So this summit is really very important.
The widely held notion that the Arab world's contributions to Africa's development are insignificant compared to the West does not stand the volume of evidence. To the contrary.
They were full of praises for the state of Kuwait for continuing to support African development in various countries, regardless of religion, regardless of culture, regardless of geographical entity.
There is a new sense of optimism here in the new partnership being envisaged, and the consensus on the range of issues is a clear manifestation.
Well, you can see that everybody living is smiling. That means that this is one of the most successful Arab-Africa summit. And everybody is going home with high spirit, because this is the first time that you have a comprehensive summit where every issue has been treated. And so it's a very, very successful summit with regards to our commitments. But what will make it more successful is when what we have agreed on is put into practice, and that's the big challenge.
The Kuwaiti summit ended Wednesday with calls for greater strategic partnership for investment and economic development. The Emir of Kuwait, His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jabbar Al Sabah, announced a loan package of $5 billion for African countries over a period of 5 years. But the two regions' security and political problems will have to be confronted head-on.
Investment, development, partnership, all that will have to be anchored on solid peace and security. These are kind of rare commodities within these two regions.
No. There's nothing that is impossible if the will is there. By the grace of the Almighty Allah.
The fourth Afro-Arab Summit will be held in an African country, but the date and actual venue are yet to be disclosed. President Jammeh also held brief discussions with the Emir of Kuwait on the sidelines of the summit. Keba Diva, GRTS, Kuwait City.
The Independent Electoral Commission has endorsed the candidacy of Menata Njai of Kolikunda, who will be the flag bearer for the ruling Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, and the opposition National Reconciliation Party's Pa Ture Bajinka. The two will contest the vacant Kiang West National Assembly seat in the December 5th by-election. Our reporter Ibrahim Abalde, who was at the event in the regional headquarters of Manta Konko, says campaigning for the National Assembly by-election for the said constituency will kick off on the 23rd November 2013 with voting set for the 5th of December 2013. The International Training Centers, in collaboration with Agribusiness, Service and Producers Association, recently held a 3-day meeting at the Farmers Training Center in Genoa. The workshop, which gathered over 100 farmers across the country, is aimed at outlining the constraints in groundnut production and mapping out strategies to further improve production in the country. Rohibite reports.
It is for this reason that the development of agricultural services and national industrial complex evolved around groundnut production, processing and marketing. Over the period, groundnut production fluctuated widely because of marketing constraints in terms of mobilization of financial resources to purchase the crop, resulting in producers shifting to other crops. It is against this platform that the International Training Center, in collaboration with the Agribusiness Services and Producers Association, organized training for the stakeholders and SECO management teams. The interface is to focus on the value chain analysis, which includes farming, handling, processing and marketing operations in observance for quality assurance in the preparation for the 2013-2014 groundnut marketing season. Bringing together over 100 farmers and farm representatives, the training, as the ASPA Executive Secretary Abdullah Khan highlighted, aims to identify the challenges confronting the groundnut value chain and map out strategies in addressing those challenges. As the training was funded by Enhanced Integrated Framework under the Ministry of Trade, Project Coordinator Maud Toure and the Deputy Permanent Secretary Maud Lamin Sise both spoke about the importance of the forum and their role in funding such projects. As part of the main pillars of the Ghana subsector, the cooperative plays an important role in the value chain, and there is a need to build their capacities to understand the changing trends and dynamics of groundnut marketing, both nationally and internationally. Those developments in the groundnut industry in recent years have faced numerous challenges in terms of production, but the formulation of attempts have been made to solve those problems. Yet some farmers are still battling these challenges. There's a tendency of overcrowding the groundnut industry in the Gambia, and this must be checked if investment in the industry is to be encouraged. Officials are of the belief that with greater cooperation, the issue of food crisis, and most especially the importation of basic food commodities, will soon be a thing of the past. Rohi Bite, GRTS News.
The biannual Joint Donor Review and Supervision Mission for the education sector Thursday ended in Banjul. The interface, as Fatou Janembai reports, brings together the basic and secondary education ministry, donor partners and other stakeholders in the education sector to review policies and action plans initiated and implemented in the previous year.
2006, the 6-monthly Joint Donor Review and the supervision staged by the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and stakeholders ensures that all education plans are successfully implemented. The initiative is in conformity with the Paris Declaration and Accra Agenda for Action commitments on aid effectiveness, especially with regards to national ownership, use the country systems, aid alignment with the National Development Agenda, and priorities and improved coordination, managing for results and mutual accountability for better results for the education sector. The interface, since its establishment some 7 years ago, is credited with helping in the realization of education-related MDGs.
The impact has been very positive. Even though we are still faced with lots of challenges, we have seen lots of good strides made by the sector. We recently saw the introduction of the school grants, paving the way for removing all the burdens in terms of the household having to pay certain non-formal or informal fees at the school level. But besides that too, we have other initiatives like the national language programs, we have the early grade reading programs and the national assessment test, to name a few, which are having great impact in terms of delivery of quality education service, in both in teaching and learning.
This is to just mention how important the school improvement grants reform, agenda is, because it's the grant that is helping us abolish fees. And the fees affect the sector in many ways. But I've said to them, if we are able to get an additional $80 million on top of our current allocation, it doesn't have to be immediately. But if it can happen within the next 2-3 years, Gambia can be the first country in Africa in which a child can go to grade 1 and then finish his or her education at grade 12 without, the parent having to pay for fees.
The World Food Programme is the lead in-country donor agency. The resident coordinator commended MOPSI for its efforts in resource mobilization and further painted a clear picture of the activities embarked upon by the local education groups.
The local education group will continue to provide support in an effort to leverage additional resources for the sector to realize its objectives. The local education group supported fundraising through the German Backup Initiative to mobilize funds for the Education for All network to advocate for the effective use of the school improvement grants. Together, we will continue to advocate for increased budgetary allocation to the education sector from the national budget, which we are proud to state has now reached the GP threshold of 20%.
The World Bank, a genuine partner of the ministry, seems hopeful about greater progress as the education sector appears relentless in its numerous interventions, notably the conditional cash transfer and teacher training, where great progress is said to have been registered. The tax team leader for the pledged the World Bank's continued support to the sector.
I congratulate the ministry for its continued strong commitment to the sector, and I think